What's up, nerds? It's an interesting time right now in Honkai Star Rail. Every character coming out in the foreseeable future feels like a must-pull type of character, and Acheron is no different. In the main story right now, Acheron and the Mech Sam are locked in a heated 1v1 battle, all because Black Swan, for some reason, decided to leave her for dead and dip out with the Trailblazer, which was super sketchy, but we're here for the drama. In the pre-release footage, though, for Penacony, we saw in a special music video trailer that Acheron and Sam were also locked in a heated 1v1 battle. A bit of foreshadowing, and Acheron seems, in the footage that we saw, to get the upper hand on Sam. So a lot of hype is being generated around this character, Acheron. So a lot of us are really excited, and it makes us wonder, is it worth saving for this character? Or should we be saving for some other things? I first want to point out that the developers of Honkai Star Rail, when they were creating Acheron, created her in the likeness of one of their favorite characters that they have ever made. And that character is Raiden Mei. And ever since they created Raiden Mei, they've put her into literally every single game they possibly could since. Acheron will be the fourth iteration of this character. And every single time that they release a new version of Raiden Mei, she ends up becoming a game changer and is typically the most powerful character in the game when she releases, and it's not even close. So with the assumptions that the developers have led us to believe up to this point, as well as factual information from the game itself letting us know that Acheron is an Emanator and other prominent characters in the game are very, very aware of her power, well, it leads us to suspect that she's going to probably be the best DPS character in the game. That is the story that is currently being told to us right now. I even have a lore video that I put out recently that leads us to believe that Acheron may have already slayed a powerful being in this game in the form of one of Long the Permanent's descendants, Long the Permanent's being an Aeon, and his descendants being powerful dragons, such as seemingly Dan Heng and Bibitur Lune. If you read into the deep lore, you may have been able to pick this up already. If not, I'll put a link to that video in the pinned comment and description below. And considering that DPS characters are the most commonly released 5 stars in the game, it's interesting that we haven't had a character come out that has dethroned Jing Liu or Dan Heng and Bibitur Lune quite yet. Obviously, we want balance in the game, but it makes us suspect that now that the 2.0 block is here, we're probably going to see a major powerhouse getting released really soon. And everything is leading to Acheron right now. Can you think of a single other powerful DPS character? They have even put out hints that they're going to release soon. No, it is only Acheron at this time. However, does any of this bullcrap that I've brought up to this point actually guarantee that Acheron will be the best DPS character when she arrives? No, it does not. However, if there are enough brush strokes on the canvas, eventually it starts to paint a picture. And the picture that's being painted here has long legs, a sharp sword, and I'd like to buy them a drink. Besides, I've been taking a look at her kit, and it looks pretty freaking good. It's a little bit too early for me to actually be talking about that yet, but trust me when I say this, she's looking like a brick house. This character's got the juice, okay? Whenever I say a character's got the juice, that is a special phrasing that I only use for certain characters, and this is some juice you're gonna want to squeeze. There are a bunch of very competent players that I know that are going to be skipping Sparkle in order to make sure that they guarantee themselves Acheron, which is wild to me because I still think we're in the time period that it is very valuable to pull for all of these super powerful OP supports, because I believe firmly that you can make any mid-tier team very strong with a series of very strong supports, but you can't fix a mid-tier team with only one really good DPS. That's how much value people find in this particular DPS character. They're willing to miss out on other incredible characters in order to guarantee they do not miss Acheron. And you do not want to miss Acheron if you have any power over that situation. So in this case, people are willing to make sacrifices in order to make sure that they can pull Acheron. And that means that even if they pull the character early, they might just highly invest into the character, maybe go for her light cone, maybe go for her Eidolon 1. I, for example, don't normally pull Eidolons or signature light cones of characters. The only one I have is Jingliu. I pulled her signature light cone. And I plan to do the same thing again with Acheron for only the second time in this entire game's lifespan. I will be pulling either her signature light cone or her Eidolon 1, depending on which is more valuable to me with that character. That's how much value I personally find in this character so far. Besides, more important than honestly anything in this game, Acheron is really hot. And she's got an attitude that I'm down with. She doesn't seem like she's willing to take any bullshit from anybody, and I'm down with that. I can ride with that. You know what I'm saying? She's got a personality that I can get behind. You know what I'm saying? And you should know that if you are planning to pull for this character, that her best relic set is already in the game. It released recently with patch 2.0 and Penacony. It is the Deep Waters Scuba Diver set. At least that's what I like to call it, because it's got a scuba diver dude on it. It's not just because of the stats, it's actually lore dependent as well. This was clearly made to work with a lot of characters, but it was personally made just for her. If you pay attention to her splash art and this relic set, as well as check out that lore video I told you guys about earlier, pinned comment and description below if you want to check it out. This is literally her relic set, just like Blade got his own special relic set when he released in the game. This is Acheron's set. And although I can't deeply dive into her kit here, that relic set just so happens to work with her kit, which is what makes it synergize with her so well. Not only does it give crit damage, but it gives a bonus to enemies that are debuffed. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, honk, honk, beep, beep over there. She's also a nihility-based character according to her splash art. You picking up what I'm putting down over there, cowboy? All right, good. So you should be farming the ever-loving crap out of this new domain that just came out with patch 2.0. And trust me when I say this, even if you saved up a ton of rolls, even if you have run this domain a ton of times, you don't necessarily guarantee you're going to get good gear. So start farming it now, because it's not just good on Acheron, it's good on a lot of other characters as well. Even the 2-piece bonus is something that will work on many different characters depending on your team composition. It's also Dr. Ratio's best in slot relic set as well. So go ahead and start farming, because you should have already started farming. Get to it, boy. As with any new character that comes out in this game, we have to decide, do we need this character on our account? So you have to decide what your account actually needs and if this is the character for you, especially if you are a newer player or a player that skipped out on very, very strong sustain characters. You might need a character like Aventurine, who is going to be a very, very powerful sustain character. He's the only second premium 5-star character that will be releasing in the game. And some people even think that the first premium preservation character, Fu Xuan, is literally the best character in the entire game. Not only does she have sustainability and can solo sustain basically any team except for Yangxing teams, but that's a different thing. Who cares about him anyway? If you don't have a super strong sustain, you might want to pull Aventurine. That might be what you need. And it might be a very sad moment that you might need to skip Acheron. I know that sounds wild. I know that sounds crazy. I know you probably want to wife up this character, but you might need to skip in order to not miss out on other characters that you might need on your account. So keep that in mind. So should you save for this character? Well, I think that you need to do what's best for you and your account. But I also think that there is that old saying, right? Waifu or husbando over meta. So I think that you should pull for who you like. But if you care about the meta, I think that Acheron is as meta and top tier as it gets. If I had to make a prediction, I think that Acheron will end up being the best DPS character in the game when she arrives. I think she'll be the new queen of the DPS charts. She will overtake Jingliu. She'll overtake possibly even Dan, even after the power spike that Dan gets when Sparkle arrives. That's how strongly I believe in Acheron. I believe that Acheron teams will probably be very strong. They could potentially be a little bit niche from what I've seen so far, but there are plenty of other support characters that can go with her at this time that will make her very, very strong. That is what I believe, is that she will be the character to desire for the DPS slot for many, many players. Think about how many people missed out on Dan Heng, Bibitor Lune, or Jing Liu, and they have the feeling of FOMO because they missed out on either one of those characters. Well, this character, Acheron, will be the next character like that, in my opinion. Obviously, we have plenty of time to wait. You don't have to make your decision until she actually comes out. We're going to get a special programming where we find out what her kit does in full detail, and we'll also get a big kit reveal before she actually releases in the game. Trust me when I say this, you'll get plenty of news about the character before she arrives, and you'll be able to make a better decision then. But it is important to kind of decide now whether it's worth to save for the character, and that's what this entire video was about. So, if you enjoyed this, you found any of this entertaining or helpful in any way, shape, or form, consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.